What's up, guys? Mega Bleeder here with another episode of Star Technology. Today I'm going to get you caught up on just a couple of things I did. I've been super busy, so I really haven't been able to be on the Star Technology world, but we're going to get a little bit of work done today, so let's get started. So I don't remember if I mentioned the Twinite, but I did set up an ABS for Twinite and another one for Haste Alloy, so we can get some stuff going in the future using that. Also, I set up new epoxy because the glycerol, I think is how you pronounce that, was just terrible. Getting seed oil is just pretty slow. There might be a way for me to kind of ramp it up to be really fast if I don't know what I would need to do. Maybe beets are the better way to go. I'm using pumpkin seeds, and beets are a little bit better, but I don't know. So I switched over to making the epichlorohydrin for epoxy out of the allyl chloride and the hypochlorous acid, the sodium hydroxide. So I feel like that's a little bit better. Just because the glycerol, I mean, the recipes are the same. It's just a couple of different inputs. So I set up those. It was stuff that we already had resources for. It was just putting it into a chemical reactor, and I do have it shared inside of one chemical reactor here. So there's an input there and an input there. But now we are in a lot better place with epoxy, and that was holding back our circuits. I did try and make a fisher here, but man, it is just slow. I mean, 10 seconds for one fish, and then the fish goes into an extractor to make 40 millibuckets. And then, we need a lot more than that to be able to make glycerol glycerol. So I don't know. I just feel like it's like really slow. If I'm going to try and build up to 54 buckets to use this recipe to make glycerol and biodiesel, like, I don't know. That would be a lot of fishers. I would have to like build a small little ocean and just have, I don't know, if I put 10 of them down, I guess I'd get one fish per second. So if I put 100 down, like I could get 10 fish per second. I don't know. I just feel like that was pretty slow. So what I want to do today is kind of update our clean room. Just having HV machines, like these ones down here aren't really running. I mean, they are and they aren't on this first floor, but if we go up to the second floor, we are backed up on these. But as you can see here, we're missing RAM chips, which that's an old process, and that's actually the thing that I set up the Haste Alloy for, so that we can make a large cutting saw, because the RAM chips down here are really slow. It takes 45 seconds. We do get 32 of them, but it's just really slow here on MV. And if we up that to like IV, we go from 45 seconds, and we could do it to LUV to 2.8 seconds. So part of the thing that we'll be doing a major upgrade on is setting up multi-block machines to be able to just run passive resources really fast. So I'm going to set this platform up over here for bulk machines, and I'm actually going to do it differently than what I have been doing. So this will be probably the new setup. On the top of the Cube.js machines, I'll be putting just a bunch of inputs, and then on the side probably is where I'll do the outputs. And the nice part about this is I think I can still put a ton more. I think, and I didn't test it, I might be able to move my input and output and my maintenance hatch to the side, and my energy, but I think the top and the bottom I could put the ME input buses and input hatches to be able to just do like huge upgrades like that. So what I want to do today is upgrade all of these, upgrade our cutters, our laser engravers, our circuit assemblers, things like that. Okay, so taking a look, we're going to need 8 cutters, 7 laser engravers, 6 circuit assemblers, and 1 chemical reactor. So I've got those bookmarked here. We'll start with the cutters. So we're going to need some tungsten carbide blades. And that should be pretty easy. 8 of those guys. Laser engraver is gonna be, we need IV emitters for that, so we're gonna need quantum stars. So I'm gonna dump a bunch of radon. Actually, I'll probably set up a chemical bath. Yeah, I'm gonna set up a chemical bath for this. Okay, so this is a good opportunity to talk about the way that I want to implement the system over here. So this is a large chemical bath, or at least it will be. Yeah, it's a chemical bath. We can also use it as an ore washer, but today it's a chemical bath. We're going to need output hatches, which I'm going to run probably, let's move this. We'll go here and we'll go output hatches here. So just outputs, an output hatch and an output bus there. So we're going to have energy coming in. So IV 16, not IC, IV 16 amp converter. Need, IV, this one. There we go. And we'll place this guy here. We'll grab flux point to power this. And then we're going to need wires and wire cutters. So we'll get that hooked up to power. So this guy is powered. So we've got input buses. And what I'm going to do, the reason I lifted it up so high is because I want to try and do most of the IO stuff from underneath here. And I think I want to regulate on the input. We'll do bus. We'll regulate on the input bus and then input hatches. Let's see, input bus can go there. And then input hatch we'll put right there. Pick up our toolbox because I'm constantly losing that thing. And we're going to need cables. And actually, I did turn off channels, and I think I'm going to leave them off. I feel like it's just been kind of unnecessary a little bit. The subnets that I build, and I can still build subnets completely separate from the rest of them, but I need to put cables on the outputs, so those are always hooked up. And then input is going to get, this input bus is going to get the toggle bus there. So we'll need to hook these up and put our level emitter there like that. So now that has a channel, so it's going into here, and then we can say that we want to regulate quantum stars. And for now, I'm going to say 64 quantum stars on the top end and 32 on the bottom end. So getting into the input bus, I'm going to put radon in there and the nether star in there. And I'm going to set distinct buses on that input. And there isn't a channel for this. So this more or less should be ready to go once I hook it up, which will be, I should probably grab this while I'm here. And I raise it up 3 blocks so we can easily see underneath there. And for that one, it's going to be kind of in the center. Let's just put it right there. We'll connect that up. And now this, we should see that it's making quantum stars. And if we take a look, our stars have been running for a while, our nether stars. So we should see the quantum star show up in that. Now, I don't have a drawer stored somewhere. I don't have a storage drawer for those, but I kind of have been just kind of storing things in bulk over here that we've been working on. So I guess once that comes in, we'll just put it over here. I feel like it probably should be its own kind of special storage place, but whatever. So as far as everything we need for the emitter, for the IV emitter, which is there, that down there, it's just going to be an elite assembler, which we can just pop down right there. We can throw down an item card in this and say stock these items on circuit 1. So the iridium rod, the tungsten cable, the IV circuit, and which one? I think we have that one, but we'll just leave it on that one, I suppose. And that's everything, right? Yeah, it's 4 items. And that's going to be on circuit uno. And we should just be able to come over here and we'll take the nether star out of there because we're not making those here. I thought I was going to, but we'll put iridium rods in, the 1x tungsten cable, the IV circuit, and the quantum star. And that should do its thing. Circuit 1, 4. Oh, that needs to be 2. Yeah, because when it's when you kind of save it like that, it gets a little awkward. So I need to add 1 there. And then we should see that turn on. And then we're going to spit it out there. Fantastic. And I'm actually going to change. I was setting it up earlier and I didn't like it. So I want to set that to 64 and 32 because I don't want it to burn up and have like a stack here and a stack here. So what we're going to do is set this on 1 to a high signal. So once we get those in there, it'll kind of pause. And actually, I think I want to make this a little bit better. Make it a little faster. Be even a little faster still. For 12 ticks, it's going to pull an item. Yeah, that works. All right, so we've got IV emitters. I just need to link up to this drawer controller. Also, I need to lock it. Something else most definitely will get inserted into there if I don't lock it. Okay, so we got our HV emitter automated there. That's pretty nice. And we also, you could say that we automated a bath, not batch. There we go. Okay, so 1 chemical reactor. Oh, we're gonna need some huge pipes for that. So we need a huge pipe mold. I don't know if I have a huge pipe mold. I don't have a huge pipe mold. We need a bolt mold, which means we need a rod mold. Bolt mold. And bolt mold. We need cutters for that. Those are way huge. Bam. And then we can come over here and I'll just kind of drop stuff down in a random spot sometimes. For that huge pipe, we need polyethylene. Polyethylene ingot. We can just drop that in there. There we go. And we got a couple of them. Just like that. We can get the chemical reactor. We needed 1 of those. That's that. We need 6 circuit assemblers. Got the cutters. So 1, 2, 6 circuit assemblers. And then... Ooh, that was a quest, apparently. 7 laser engravers. Sweet, and we have enough IV emitters. How many are we at now? Was I saying HV emitter? Did I put that down in here? Let me know in the comments if you were screaming at me about that. Maybe you already commented about it. So, all I need to do is take all these machines and move them. So, let's do this. Let's put them all on the hotbar here. This is a laser engraver. And I want to kind of transfer everything out. Move it over like that. And then I'll place it down and then I'll upgrade the power in a minute. Now this, it will run, right? But it's going to wait until it has enough power. Or does it need a circuit? No, it doesn't need a circuit. So let's take that out, drop it in the system, and we can just break that. Sweet. Oh yeah, it's gonna run, but then it's gonna power fail. So I'll probably not gonna. Yeah, let's just turn it off. Okay, so chemical reactor. Let's take this, place that down there, pull those out, put those in. We're gonna need a drum, so we can do that. That doesn't have a circuit, so I'll put that there, and then we're gonna turn it off. That's gonna run out of power. I could place it down, but I'm not incredibly worried. What? Oh, there's an arm there. I don't need the arm. What was the configuration on that? It was pulling this. It was inserting, and was there a filter? Yeah, there was a filter. There was a setting. So I need to keep exact 32 import. Yeah, that should be okay, because it's doing the CPU wafers. So we have a cutter here. We'll place that down, and then you come out and go in there. Those are going to come out and go into the storage system. There's no circuit. We're just going to turn that off. We've got a laser engraver. We'll break that. Laser engraver. Right, there's the top floor upgraded. Now these should be quite a bit faster. They were EV machines, so they're draining a lot more power, but that's all right. Like, that's all right. This is an upgrade we needed. The more significant upgrade is going to be the HV machines down there. All right, our last one to upgrade here is going to be this guy. We'll pop our soldering alloy in there. Dump all that in there, and it should start running. Got power. What's the problem here? Oops. Two. I'm missing an IV circuit. Okay, so that's just doing the crafting thing here, and I think it's waiting on, yeah, the RAM chip. Oh, and I don't have it set to automatically output. Yeah, there's not a better version of the RAM chip. Yeah, okay, so I didn't set any of these to that output out the bottom, so I'm going to have to go through and do that. All right, I figured while I was here that I might as well just put down a laser engraver and a cutter to get us some RAM chips. And I think we are at a net positive right now, so all of our engravers and stuff like that should be running. We are currently crafting the nanoprocessor, and this nanoprocessor assembly, and then the nanoprocessor supercomputer, and then we are back to kind of fully making the nanoprocessor mainframe, and these are the LUV circuits. So we upgraded all of these machines. All right, so I think the next thing we're doing is getting these assemblers set up for our advanced SMD components. So we need some shellite wire. That way we don't have to use our wire connectors. So bing, bang, bong. These are pretty simple, pretty straightforward. We're just setting up IOs for these. We have everything that we need. So, and actually these are all going to have basically the same fluid input. So what we can do is drag that in there, and we're going to turn this down. One of these needs 288, so I guess I'm just going to set it to like set it to 288. And then if we take our card cloner, we can left click. And we can right click this spot and it'll give us easier setup there. And then it's just going to be what goes where. Here, HSSE ring, fine palladium wire. Now, I don't think I have all of these materials set up. So we'll probably have to do that as well. Indium gallium phosphide, fine niobium titanium wire. I think some of them I do. So we'll just have to kind of play it by ear once we load up our interface down there. Thin polybenzimidazole, SSS. Let's see, the resistor, graphene, and platinum. That to be there actually. No reason in particular other than I just want to be picky. And then the transistor. So let's double check these. They're all on stocking. I've had times in the past where I didn't do that, like right there. And then we need to set these all to auto output. And I've got them set to store 500, 512. I think that's probably plenty. If we ever get to a point where we need more than that, it'll be really easy to update that. Just go in and adjust the drawer. Okay, so let's see. HSSE ring. I don't think I have that. Okay, so we've got indium gallium phosphide. We don't have niobium titanium wire. Don't have that, or foils. I believe I have graphene. Yes. Fine. Platinum wire. Do we have that? Got some, but it might just be... Nope, it is on Autocraft. So we don't need that. The gallium foil, we don't have any of that. And HSSG wire. Okay, so that's not bad. We've got an extruder, we've got wire mills, and we've got more extruders. So let's move that there and that there. So we need to head over to our wire mills. And I've just been adding to these since we have plenty of room here. So we need 3 input buses. I keep pushing the wrong button there. It's been so long since I played. Right? And then it's going to be palladium, niobium on 3, and HSSG on 3. Now the palladium doesn't have a circuit? Okay. Distinct buses, palladium. Distinct buses, niobium titanium on 3. And HSSG, and that was also on 3? Yeah, it's also on. Bam. Okay, now, actually, that one can't go right there. It needs to go here. Like so. Because I'm going to have to put level emitters and stuff like that down. So let's take those and those, some cable anchors just for cleanliness. That does not go there. And then here, a level emitter there, a level emitter there. Cable anchors. We'll put one there for future use. We're not going to use it right now, but we will. Cables down. And more cables. Smart cables. Smart cables for the smarty pants. Actually, and I need to set those pretty quickly. So this one is palladium. So find palladium wire, and we'll set it to 64 and 32. Over here is HSSG. Then this guy will be niobium titanium. Not 632, 63032. There we go. And then that cable still needs to go. So those are good. Those are good. We should see this one turn on and then pretty quickly turn off. Running. Yep, you're running. We do have it. I do have it set to just 1, so it might make more sense to turn it up to like 4, like that. And then we need to paint. These are blue. We're just painting for aesthetic purposes. We don't necessarily need to separate our cables anymore since I'm just going to leave channels off. Like every time that when there have been server things happening, it likes to reset. Okay, so that's those. And one of these might be kicked on. So wires are in there. Why are you not working? Oh, because I didn't put the polybenzimidazole here. We'll change that to just a bucket. Now we should see this guy kick on. This guy kick on. Takes 8 seconds. This one takes 32. It takes like 2 seconds per one component. And then I don't want the destruction gadget. That would be very bad. We'll grab our link from here. Bam. This one's got another couple of seconds. So we got those wires. We just need these foils and that ring. The foils, those go in a bender? Oh, I said extruder before, didn't I? Yeah. I suppose we could use an extruder. Oh, I can use an extruder for the polybenzimidazole, but a bender for the others. Okay, so I'll use just a bender and then an extruder for the ring. Let's get this locked. And we'll take the quest for these. And I'm going to get those other ones set up. Okay, so this should be set up once I put these on here. One there, and one there. We should see these kick on. Yep. And that's going to be our other foils. So I've got a little bit of room for those down here. And that's the vanadium gallium. The... Where's it at? Let's see. Vanadium gallium can go there. Vanadium gallium. Where are the other ones? Or were they sheets? No. Sheet and foil. Why not see the polybenzimidazole sheet? That should be in here. Interesting. Oh, I don't have polybenzimidazole sheets. Okay, so I think I don't have the ingots, I think is the problem. So I need a fluid solidifier, which I believe I can. I don't think I have a fluid solidifier multi-block, so I'm gonna need Yeah, I've got... I'm gonna have to put that over here, but what we could do is lock that, link that one, lock that, link that one. We'll take these quests. And then this needs to be a fluid solidifier, so 2 pumps. Put that there. I meant to put down the toolbox. I actually want to break that because I need that first. That'll save me a little bit of a headache. And then this is going to be a fluid insert of 100 and... let's go 288. 288. And a ingot mold. I'll go in there, hook that up to that. That's going to go in there. You are going to auto export. I'm going to turn this up quite a bit, and I don't need it to be that much. We'll go down to just a bucket. Clicking real hard. It'd be nice. I don't know how hard it would have been, but for Direwolf when he built Laser IO to be able to make this like a click, adjust it by like being able to right click and just put it what you want. So a drawer, and I only need a little bit of an upgrade. Don't need it to be, I don't need to have 2,000 of these, I don't think. Okay, so that should be working. And then we'll probably see this kick on. Why do you not have the other item, the HSS foil? Third axe away. Once this catches up, that'll be a lot better. Why are the foils not... Oh, I didn't put it in here. And that's this one, HSS foil. 6432. Now this should kick on. Yeah, there we go. That's the other one. Let's see. We need the sheet. That's going to go there, and we need the oil. That can go there. And then this is now running. And we'll lock it and link it, and we'll take one out. This needs to be linked as well. And that was the final quest. Almost the final quest. What are we missing here? Well, I mean, we're missing something. What to say nothing? You know in the comments if you see where it's at. Everything looks like it's got... Ooh, here we go. Distinct buses. I'm going to pause for a second. Yeah, the insanity of the kind of chapter completion is crazy loud when you hit that. So I'm glad I did that. I think DaVinci will regulate it as long as I have it set to regulate the volume or normalize it. I mean, I think that'll cause it not to go absolutely insane. But there we go. Now we've got SMDs that are automated, and we can use these for better processors. We could even upgrade the processors that we just did in the clean room with these, but I mean, they're completely automated, so we'll just save them for new processors like this EV, LUV, wetware, apparently. Crystal processors from Ivy, but there's a lot of stuff that we don't have from that. Crystal CPUs, engraved crystal chip. Ooh, a helium, raw crystal. Interesting. Bacterial sludge, liquid europium, mutagen. Okay, okay. Look at that. This one's already full. Not bad at all. This one's full too. Sweet. So I did a couple of things here in the futuristic mechanisms like twinite, rhodium plated palladium. We already had the exquisite emerald. I didn't have the materials to do the yttrium barium cuprate. I don't think I have barium or yttrium yet. Let's those. Is that how we spell that? That is how we spell that. Look at that. And then barium? Barium, yep. So I don't have that. Barium sulfide, barite, indium. That's a probably the barite dust, right? That comes from Naquita. We could process quartz, raw quartz, I guess. Quartzite, realgar, and barite, or centrifuging. Oh, we should have barite. Oh, we do have barite. Okay. So I just need to do a couple of processes there, and then we'll be able to get the yttrium barium cuprate. And that'll get us to data modules, wetware, the rhodium plated palladium, gets us to the LV machine hull, but we need a couple other things first. We need twinite wire, apparently. That'll get us to the converter. What do we need for this? Why is this locked? Oh, liquid polyphenylene sulfate bucket, apparently. So we need benzene and chlorine. We already have those. And then this is dichlorobenzene. I think I have that. Yeah, dichlorobenzene. We got that. So the next one will just be this guy, which is... I could use oxygen. Air might be a little bit better. Sodium sulfide. I don't know if I have that, but I'm pretty sure we have sodium. We have tons of sodium. And sulfur is so-so. It could be better. It would be nice. I should probably... I could... centrifuge blaze powder. That's probably the best bet, honestly, since we have... since we have blaze rods, unlimited blaze rods now. What was that? Sodium sulfide, sulfur. I'm just curious if there's a way that I can get sulfur more easily. For washing, centrifuging. Yeah, it's probably going to be best to get it from centrifuging blaze powder. Yeah. Okay, so I think I'll probably call it there for this episode. What I'll be looking to probably do next will be taking this line here, the borosilicate glass, into reinforced epoxy so we can make our way down into ZPM, as well as following here, getting to LUV machine casing, and then likely also the assembly line. That's probably going to be the next route. So this way to unlock LUV, over here to get the assembly line, which we're pretty much at. We just need the data stick. Borosilicate glass to kind of make our way down here to ZPM, and then eventually getting the fusion reactor, which I believe gets us energy. We do things. I've never set up one of these reactors before, so I don't know how they work at all. Smash elements to get more powerful materials. Fusion isn't fusion glass isn't a horrible idea. I don't know how it works. If you guys know, let me know in the comments. But I think it'll be pretty fun. We need to, I think this is the future of power, but I'm not really sure. Maybe if we check here, IV power gets us to the substation. LUV gets us to that. CPM, active transformers. I don't know when, as far as Greg Tech stuff goes, when we upgrade into I guess, better power, or what the next power source is for us. But I don't think that we can let solar run. I mean, we can go pretty far with solar. I did bookmark the solar 5 because it is quite a bit better. So 8192 for the solar 4. So I'll work towards getting this set up. I mean, we have, I think, pretty much everything that we need. It'll just be automating it. So maybe we'll do that as well. So working our way down into LUV, working our way towards the assembly line, working our way towards quantum processors, and then eventually ZPM. I think that will be what I'm looking to do next episode. But I think that's going to be it for today. Remember, if you are looking to play on a server with a community of people like other viewers, just like yourself, I do have a Moni Factory community server. You do need to be a YouTube member to get onto that. It only costs $1. So if you're looking to do that, you can join that. I also have a Patreon just for extra support if you want to support the channel and what I do here if you like the content. Obviously, if you can't afford it, like, don't. Like, you know, use your money for your things. And if you've got extra and you want to help support me and have the fun community aspect with it, fantastic. You can find the links in the description down below. But that's going to be it today. Thanks for stopping in.